In a world driven by impulse and immediate reaction, the greatest weapon is not intelligence or strength, but the ability to remain entirely unmoved. Most people exist as a collection of frantic responses to external stimuli, fearing failure, seeking validation, and drowning in the noise of their own emotions. To adopt the mindset of Kiyotaka, Ayanokōji is to realize that these feelings are merely biological errors that cloud the path to the objective. While others are governed by the chaos of the moment, the strategist views the world from a position of absolute stillness. This is not about hiding your emotions, it is about the cold realization that emotions have no utility in the pursuit of a result. If you wish to master the environment, you must first master the void within yourself, transforming your mind into a space where pressure does not exist and logic is the only currency. This is the foundation of the untouchable mindset, the quiet efficiency of a tool designed for a single purpose: to win. Part 1. The philosophy of the void. The foundation of staying calm and about suppressing your emotions. It is about changing your relationship with them entirely. Most people view their emotions as a steering wheel. If they feel fear, they turn. If they feel anger, they accelerate. To adopt the Ayanokōji mindset, you must view emotions as weather patterns observed from behind a reinforced glass window. You see the storm, you recognize the lightning, but you remain untouched by the rain. This is the philosophy of the void. It requires an intentional detachment where you stop identifying as the person feeling the emotion and start identifying as the person observing it. When you are insulted, or when pressure mounts during a high-stakes moment, the average person reacts instantly because their ego is threatened. However, if you view the situation as a scripted event in a simulation, the threat disappears. You aren't trying to be calm, you are simply realizing that there is no logical reason to be anything else. Chaos only exists if you give it permission to enter your internal space. Part 2. The tactical detachment, the chessboard perspective. To remain unfazed in any situation, you must master the art of tactical detachment. Think of every interaction, every exam, and every social conflict as a move on a chessboard. On a chessboard, a pawn is not sad when it is captured, and a knight is not arrogant when it takes a queen. They are simply pieces moving toward a win condition. When you feel your heart rate rising or your palms sweating, it is usually because you have let the outcome become too personal. Ayanokōji operates with the understanding that the self is a tool to be used for a specific result. If getting angry helps you win, you might simulate it, but you never actually feel it. By treating your own life as a series of strategic objectives, you remove the self from the equation. This creates a mental buffer zone. Within this zone, you have the time to ask, does being anxious right now increase my probability of success? The answer is almost always no. Once you acknowledge the uselessness of the emotion loses its power to dictate your actions. Part 3. The White Room Discipline, the internal filter. The secret to the dangerous silence often associated with high-level strategists is the internal filter. This is the ability to process massive amounts of external data without letting it trigger a nervous system response. Imagine your mind is the white room, a place of pure logic, devoid of outside distraction. When someone shouts at you or a situation goes wrong, that data enters the room. Instead of reacting, you categorize it. You break the problem down into its smallest components. What is happening? Why is it happening? What is the most efficient path to resolution? By the time others are still reeling from the shock of a problem, you have already solved it because you didn't waste energy on the shock phase. This discipline is built in the quiet moments, the way you walk, the way you sit, and the way you breathe when no one is watching. If you cannot control your posture while sitting alone in a room, you will never control your heart rate in a room full of enemies. Part 4. The power of observation over reaction. Most people are reactors. They are like a ball being hit by a racket, flying in whatever direction the world hits them. To be like Ayanokōji is to be the observer. In any high-pressure environment, the person who speaks the least and observes the most holds the most power. Silence is not just a lack of noise, it is a tactical tool. When you are silent, you are absorbing the weaknesses, the tells, and the emotional instabilities of everyone around you. By focusing entirely on external observation, you leave no room for internal panic. If you are busy analyzing the micro-expressions of the person across from you, you don't have time to worry about what they think of you. You become a collector of information. This shift from how do I look to what am I seeing is the ultimate hack for social anxiety and pressure. You are the scientist, and the world is your laboratory. A scientist doesn't get nervous when a chemical reaction occurs. They simply take notes and adjust the experiment. Part 5. Master of the Self, the final objective. True calm is the ultimate form of power. It suggests that nothing the world does can move you unless you choose to be moved. This mindset is built on a foundation of absolute self-sufficiency. If you do not rely on the praise of others to feel good, you will not fear their criticism. If you do not rely on luck to succeed, you will not fear a bad turn of events. You must become your own North Star. In the end, staying calm about recognizing that most things in life, other people's opinions, temporary failures, or sudden changes are outside of your control. The only thing you truly own is your response. To master the Ayanokōji mindset is to realize that the world is a game of shadows. And while everyone else is chasing the shadows, you are the one standing by the light, watching the game unfold. You are not a victim of your environment. You are the architect of your own internal silence. Once you achieve this, the concept of stress becomes a foreign language that you no longer speak.